Crack a cold one and settle in. It's Tailgate Takes. So today we're going to do a round one mock draft. Everything how it is. Every team that has a pick in the first round of the NFL draft. No trades, no nothing. I'm going to do everything how I would do it if I was the GM of the team to best fit their needs to go into next season. If they're rebuilding, best to start that rebuild and just get into it. As we all know, the Raiders are in a rebuild this year. They just got a new coach. They've got a lot of problems, a lot of holes on that roster. They also don't have a quarterback, and Fernando Mendoza was the best quarterback in this draft by a long shot. I don't think there's a second quarterback taken in the first round, or there shouldn't be, but we all know the Raiders are going to take Fernando Mendoza. It's pretty obvious, so we're going to lock that in. The Jets are also in a similar situation as the Raiders. They're in a rebuild. They traded a lot of their good assets away at the trade deadline this year. They don't have much defense. They didn't get a single interception this year, which is crazy. That can be their DBs just weren't great. Didn't get a lot of pressure. It's probably everything. So I think they do need defense. I don't think they're going to get a quarterback this draft. I think they wait until next for that with a much deeper, better draft class. And the Jets are most likely going to be picking high next year. So I think they start this rebuild on defense. And I think they go get this guy out of Ohio State, Arvell Reese, to be their guy. The Arizona Cardinals. Wow, what a year for them. I thought they were going to be much better. Their defense looked really good, but injuries just killed them. Coaching killed them. They struggled a lot. Granted, they do have the hardest division in football with the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Niners. Tough division for a weaker opponent as the Cardinals. They need a lot here too, but it's definitely going to be on the offensive side of the ball. I wouldn't go pass catcher. They've got Trey McBride. They've got Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison, even though he's struggled. But they don't have a quarterback. Like I said, there's no one that I would take this high that's not Fernando Mendoza. So I think they just go get a guy to protect whoever they get. And I think they go get Francis Mauigoa out of Miami. I think he's 6'6", 315. He's 20 years old, young guy, durable, played 16 games this last year. Always there. He only let up 2 sacks all year, which is what you want out of your franchise guy. And the guys that he was going up against in college were some of the best D linemen that he had to protect Carson Beck from. And he did really good, and I think he's going to be the franchise guy for the Arizona Cardinals. The Titans here, I think they go get a guy for their new head coach, Robert Saleh. As we see, their last pick when Robert Saleh was a Niner was Mykel Williams, an edge out of Georgia. But he did tear his ACL, and so he didn't really get to use him. And I think they go get one of the guys in this draft that could go number 2, David Bailey out of Texas Tech. 6'3", 250. I mean, in-game, this guy's a stud. Watching all of his bowl games, that defense was insane, and he was one of the best players, if not the best player. 15 sacks this year, 43 hurries, 2 batted passes. He's just an animal on the field, and I think that Robert Saleh is going to use this guy really well. The Titans' defense already isn't that bad, in my opinion. I think they get overlooked just because the offense can't move the ball. The special teams and defense is not as bad as everyone thinks they are, and Robert Saleh will use David Bailey really well on that defense. The New York Giants, they've got a good young core, great new coach. Who knows what they do? They've got a ton of weapons coming off of injury. I think Malik Neighbors and Cam Scotty are a decent start, but they can get guys in free agency or later in the draft. I don't think the Giants can pass up on a guy like Caleb Downs. Their front 7 on defense is very good, but their DBs and their secondary are not. I think they go get a guy like Caleb Downs to help that secondary improve. 6', 205. I've heard people comparing the guy to Troy Polamalu. Even if he can be like 60, 70% of Troy Polamalu, that he will be a great pick. So I think they go get Caleb Downs to help that secondary a little bit. The Browns here, the thing about the Browns is everybody on that offensive line is a free agent, but they have no weapons. They have Harold Fannin, they have Quinshon Judkins. The defense is great. Line is the issue, and receivers are the issue. They don't know if Shador is the guy. That's why giving him a weapon will help find out if he is the guy sooner rather than later. But not giving him a line is also a problem too. But I think they can get line later in the draft. They have a pick, 24, as we see. They traded last year with Jacksonville, so the Jacksonville could go get Travis Hunter. I think the Cleveland Browns go get a wide receiver, and I think they go get this guy, Mekhi Lemon, right here. 5'11", 195. His stats, 79 catches, 1,156 yards, 11 touchdowns. This will help find out if Shedeur is the guy, and they can get lined later on in the draft. They've got Todd Monken as their new coach, who's worked really well with offenses in the past. Ravens offense, the Georgia offense when they went back-to-back, that was Todd Monken. And I think Todd Monken can drop some good stuff for Mekhi Lemon to work with Shedeur. The Commanders here, super old team, super injury prone. Their defense needs a lot of help, and I think they go get the best edge potentially in the draft in Ruben Bain. He had 12 sacks, 3 QB hits, 68 hurries. That's crazy. The guy's a freak athlete, all playoff long. He was a problem to deal with. 6'3", 270, fast, strong, explosive guy. I think Ruben Bain goes quickly to the Commanders. The Saints here, they've got their guy in Tyler Shuck. In the 11 games he played, he balled out. He's got Kellen Moore, quarterback in college, knows how to work with a quarterback, has worked in some of the best offenses in the league. He was the Eagles offensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl. He knows what a quarterback needs, and Tyler Shuck needs another receiver. He's got Chris Olave. He's got no running game. Their line isn't horrible. It's not great, but with no weapons, it doesn't really matter. I think they go get Carnell Tate quickly off the board to pair up with Chris Olave. That OSU receiver duo will be really good with Tyler Shuck. They just got to stay healthy. The Chiefs are on the clock. Something that a casual football fan might not know is that Patrick Mahomes has never had a 1,000-yard rusher in his career, which is impressive, granted how well he plays. I think they go get Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame. We saw what Eric Bieniemy just did. He just came back to the Chiefs. He just worked with Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift last year. He made them look very good. DeAndre Swift, before Eric Bieniemy was in that offense, did not look very good. Could be a Ben Johnson scheme. Who knows? But Eric Bieniemy was definitely a part of that. And I think if you get a guy like Jeremiah Love to pair with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Eric Bieniemy, 6', 214 back, we'll see what he runs at the combine. But I don't think they second-guess this pick. I think Patrick Mahomes needs this run game. Pacheco and Hunt are not going to cut it. I think he's telling his team, get that running back. If he's on the board, we're getting Love. I think Patrick Mahomes will greatly appreciate the Chiefs franchise going out and getting his guy in the draft. The Bengals are a fun team to mock for since their offense is so good and their defense is so bad. Since we already know what side of the ball we're going to, we're definitely good defense. They just got Shamar Stewart last year. They're probably going to lose Trey Hendrickson this year. So they have a decent young edge, but they have no DBs. I'm already on the guy that I'm thinking for them, Mansour Delane, 6', 190, sticky coverage guy, quick feet. Played super well this year. Didn't let a single touchdown up, had 2 picks. He was targeted only 35 times for 165 yards. Only 35 targets in 11 games. That just shows how sticky that guy is. It shows how on the receiver he is. He doesn't let anything up. Their quarterbacks aren't even trying to get their receivers the ball when Mansour Delane is covering them. I think the Bengals go get Mansour Delane quickly to shore up their secondary as well. The Miami Dolphins, full rebuild for them. They've let go of a lot of players already. They've already got a new coach who is a defensive mind, who is the Packers DC. So he's probably going to want someone to work with in his first season there. I think they go get a DB, and I think they go Avion Terrell out of Clemson. Avion Terrell, brother to A.J. Terrell, who is a Falcon right now, 5'11", 180. Super good corner. I would go Jermon McCoy here, but he did have his ACL, so he didn't play at all this last year. So I think he falls a little bit, and I think they go get their second best on the board corner, and I think that's Avion Terrell. The Dallas Cowboys, also like the Bengals, offense can do whatever they want, but the opponent's offense can also do whatever they want. Their defenses are horrible. They actually just let go of a linebacker today in Logan Wilson. Kenneth Murray probably will be gone too. They're going to have no linebacker, and I think they're going to hope that Sonny Styles is still on the board. Sonny Styles is a versatile linebacker who played DB and has switched to linebacker now. He is a 6'5", 243 freak athlete linebacker. Guy flies over the field. That's something that the Dallas Cowboys need. They need a guy to be everywhere. They kind of need that Swiss Army knife player, and I think Sonny Styles is the guy for the Dallas Cowboys. The Los Angeles Rams are a fun team to mock. Their offense is great. They would have been in the Super Bowl if they had DBs. Sam Darnold was doing whatever he wanted to that team in the NFC Championship. And I think the Rams window is closing. They probably have one more year of elite play from the offense before they have to go get a new quarterback. And I think they take a risk on Jermon McCoy. 6', 193 corner. He didn't play this last year because of an ACL tear, but I think they risk it and try and go for the home run and draft Jermon McCoy. The Baltimore Ravens, fun team also. I've seen a lot of mocks where they go get Vega Ioane to fill in for Daniel Falele, but that's not the way I would go if I was the Baltimore Ravens. They just got Jesse Minter, and something Jesse Minter does is transforms defenses. He makes them insanely good. He works super well with these players. I think they go get Peter Woods out of Clemson. Their Pro Bowl D tackle, I think his name is Nnamdi Mabike. I don't know how to say his name, but he's got a neck injury. He didn't play a lot, and they're worried about his health and injury concerns for him. I think they go get D-line depth, and Peter Woods is the guy for that job. 6'3", 310. Fantastic player out of Clemson. He had 3 sacks as a D tackle, which is impressive. 2 QB hits, 9 hurries, 1 batted pass. But that's something the Ravens need is D-line help, D-line depth, with their Pro Bowler having that serious injury and Jesse Minter being their new coach. I don't think it's a question where they go get Peter Woods here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Liam Cohen Merchants, if you're talking to me, who knows if that's true. They did have a lot of injuries on the offense. They had Mike Evans hurt, Bucky Irving hurt, Chris Godwin hurt. No real run game, and their number 1 receiver was a rookie, so it doesn't help. But their defense couldn't really do much this year. I think they go get an edge. I think they go get Cassius Howell. 6'2", 248. But the number that I love looking at, 12 sacks. You look at the other guys, Keldrick Falk, freak build, 6'6", 285. But he only had 2 sacks. So that's something that I look at. I like production. If your size is great, I'm sure you could get taught and you can work well in the scheme. But I like production, especially at an SEC level. They both play in the SEC. I think Cassius Howell with those 12 sacks will give him the edge and get drafted first. The New York Jets, Jets, Jets. They already drafted linebacker early in the draft, but I still think they work on the defensive side of the ball. There's one guy that I've looked at. He was hurt this year, so he only has a couple games of numbers, but he's a 6'6", 330 D tackle. Guy's a freak build. I watched his senior day highlights going up against the best of the best. Caleb Banks was working them, manhandling them. Freak athlete. I think Caleb Banks is the call for the Jets to rebuild. I think they shore up this defense before they go get their future quarterback for that offense to work with. And I think they go get Caleb Banks. The Detroit Lions, Motor City Dan is going to want offensive line for his quarterback. Jared Goff, awful under pressure. We saw what happened against the Vikings when Brian Flores was just sending blitz after Jared Goff. Guy couldn't even throw for 200 yards. Guy was awful. I think they will get an offensive tackle to shore up that offensive line to help Jared Goff, because under pressure, he's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. Spencer Fano out of Utah, 6'6", 308. Let's check out his numbers. Didn't allow a single sack, only allowed 5 hurries all year, played 12 games. In 822 snaps, didn't allow a single sack. That's something Jared Goff would need and does need, and that's something that the entire Detroit fan base would love. The Minnesota Vikings are up next. They have good weapons, no real rush game. Their quarterback's not great either, but they just extended Brian Flores. They have faith in him. He sends a lot of blitzes. That's why I think they go edge help. I think they go Keldrick Falk out of Auburn, the 6'6", 285 edge rusher. He doesn't really have a ton of sacks, but he has 27 quarterback hurries, which is insane. If your edge rusher can get to the quarterback that many times and disrupt one play at least every drive or every other drive, you're doing something right. And Brian Flores will scheme up really well for Keldrick Falk in Minnesota. The Carolina Panthers are next on the clock. I don't think they go get a wide receiver because they got Tetaroya last year early. I think they go get a linebacker to help that defense a little bit. I think they get C.J. Allen out of Georgia to be that field general for them. So this is a tough one for me to mock. I don't know a ton about the Panthers. I haven't really read much or heard much about them either. So I'm going to go with what I think they need most in that C.J. Allen and a linebacker. The Dallas Cowboys are next. Like I said earlier, their defense is the struggle. Their offense can almost do whatever they want. But I think they go get a guy to fill in for Micah, who won't be the next Micah, but could be. TJ Parker out of Clemson, 6'3", 260, 6 sacks, 11 QB hits, 24 hurries. I think that's what they need to pair with their other guy that they got earlier, Sonny Styles. That defense, if they can stop anything, they can win some games. They're my pick to win the NFC East. I think this team will drastically improve on defense. And that offense, if they can retain George Pickens and play at a high level like they did last year, will easily win that division. The Pittsburgh Steelers are next on the clock, and I think if they draft Ty Simpson, I think they messed up the draft. They just need to let Will Howard sit under Aaron Rodgers and maybe start next year. I think they go with Rodgers with McCarthy this year. I think taking a quarterback this early would ruin their chances when they could get a guy like Jordan Tyson out of ASU, 6'2", 200 pounds to pair up with DK Metcalf. Those are two big receivers. 61 catches for 711 yards for 8 tuds. Played very well this year. If he falls to the Steelers, I think they run that card up very quickly and submit their pick in Jordan Tyson. The LA Chargers, my team, they obviously need offensive line help. This is no surprise to anybody. And if Olavega Ioane falls to us like I think he will, the 6'4", 328-pound guard out of Penn State, I don't think he goes to the Ravens, who I think are the only other team that would draft him this early. Guard you can get later on in the draft, but the Chargers need is at guard an interior offensive line. He didn't let up a single sack, no QB hits, only 4 hurries the entire year in 11 games played. And that Penn State team did kind of fall apart. So seeing that his numbers didn't dip even after, he only let up 3 sacks in 3 years, and that was all 3 years ago. Crazy stats. That's insane. Olavega Ioane, welcome to Los Angeles. The Philadelphia Eagles offense struggled, and that's due to the run game not being there. And their offensive line is old, struggled this year, couldn't really let Saquon do much. I think that's why they go get Caden Proctor out of Alabama. Caden Proctor is a mountain of a man, 6'7", 366. I think he fits in that Mekhi Becton role that they had when they won the Super Bowl. Mekhi Becton, let's just look at his. Mekhi Becton is 6'7", 364. What is Caden Proctor? Just 2 pounds heavier. I think they shift him in at guard, put him where Mekhi Becton was. If they can get that offensive line working again, Saquon can get working. That'll open up the pass game for Jalen Hurts, and that team could be a threat again. The Cleveland Browns are next up, and like I said earlier with their earlier pick, offensive line, all of them are free agents this year. That's why we're going to take offensive line later in the first round. I think they go get this guy, Caleb Lomu, out of Utah, 6'6", 308. Didn't let up a single sack all year, only 6 hurries on 2 QB hits. If you give Shador a great offensive tackle and a great offensive weapon early in the first round, you will find out if he is your guy. He's got a good coach. He won't have any excuses. And that's what you want if you're a Browns fan. You want to figure out if Shador is the guy. Give him all the help you can, because if he's not the guy, move off of him quickly. The Chicago Bears, or the Indiana Bears, if you want, I think they go get this guy Zion Young out of Missouri. He is 6'5", 262, had 8 sacks this year, 17 QB hits, 32 hurries. Freak of a man. I think they go get this guy Zion Young. He's projected lower, but I've seen a lot of things on this guy, and he's a great athlete, and he's a get-after-the-quarterback guy, and that's what they need. They need a guy to go on the other side of Montez Sweat. They have a bunch of DBs that are free agents this year. If they can retain a couple and restructure contracts, they will get a guy to go on this line. to help Montez Sweat get after quarterback. If you watch the Packers-Bears playoff game, the first half, Jordan Love could do whatever he wanted. He had all the time in the world where he could just find whoever was open. Because if you're not getting any pressure, some receiver will get open eventually. And that's the struggle the Bears had this year. They had no quarterback pressure, and I think they get this guy, Zion Young, out of Missouri. The Buffalo Bills, next up, they have wide receiver problems. They just got Joe Brady as their head coach, offensive mind. I think they go get a guy like Denzel Boston. Khalil Shakir, shorter slot guy. Denzel Boston, 6'4", deep threat. Go up and get it. That's something that Josh Allen needs. He was throwing deep balls to Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks has been in the league for how long? They drafted Keon Coleman to be that guy, but he really hasn't came into form. He hasn't really been the guy for Josh Allen. That's why I think they go get Denzel Boston out of Washington to be their guy. 62 receptions, 881 yards, 11 touchdowns. Josh Allen will love a receiver like this if he does pan out and not be like Keon Coleman. San Francisco 49ers, next up. I think they also get a wide receiver. That offense cannot just run through Christian McCaffrey forever, especially since he's super injury prone, and so are their receivers. I think they go get Casey Concepcion out of A&M. 5'11", 190. He had 61 receptions for 919 yards and 9 touchdowns. Ricky Pearsall and Casey Concepcion, if they can stay healthy, would be a really good duo. Juwan Jennings, sadly, I think, leaves the 49ers this offseason. I think there's other teams that have really dire need for receiver and will pay a pretty penny for Juwan Jennings. So I think they go get a receiver in the first round to pair with Ricky Pearsall and Brock Purdy. The Houston Texans, next up. There's only one position I would go here. Their running back, they can get free agency or later in the draft. No need to reach this early. I think they go get a guy on the offensive line. I think they go get Monroe Freeling. Look at this. 891 snaps, 3 sacks, 6 hurries. Almost 900 snaps on offense. Played 14 games. Super reliable. Huge man, 6'7", 315. And the Texans need offensive line depth. A ton of injuries there. That's why I think they go get Monroe Freeling out of Georgia to be their franchise guy. The Rams here, I personally think they double down on corner. I think they'll get this guy, Brandon Cisse, 6', 190. Let's check his stats. Only let up 1 touchdown, 18 receptions on 38 targets. Yeah, once again, these guys are not getting targeted because they're just locking down their guys. Only let up 1 touchdown, only let up 361 yards all year. I think the Rams double dip in the cornerback room just because that is their greatest weakness is corner. The Denver Broncos, if I have to hear another fan complain about Bo Nix having no weapons, he's got 2 Pro Bowl weapons. He's got Evan Engram and Courtland Sutton and a great offensive line. I don't need to hear that he has no weapons when he has one of the best defenses, one of the best offensive lines. I know he has no run game because J.K. Dobbins is a person made of glass, but I'm going to give the Broncos Kenyon Sadiq. I think the Denver Broncos should go linebacker here, get Anthony Hill Jr. out of Texas. But I think they're going to go tight end and get Kenyon Sadiq for Bo Nix. Because obviously Bo Nix needs more help. So we're going to give him a tight end. The New England Patriots had a crazy season. Who knows if it's a fluke. But when we saw Milton Williams go down late in the year, there was struggles with letting the run go. And if Milton Williams gets hurt again, who knows what will happen in a much harder schedule in a run-heavy division with potentially Breece Hall, James Cook, and Devon Achane, 3 really good backs. I think they go get a guy to be that depth to Milton Williams and to play alongside him. 6'3", 326. Tyreek Williams went first round last year. This guy's going first round this year, especially if Milton Williams is getting hurt. The Seattle Seahawks are up next. Not too many flaws in this roster. I think they go get Emmanuel Pregnon to fill in for Anthony Bradford on that the right side of the line. 6'5", 318. Let's check his stats. Only 1 sack all year, 2 hurries, 2 QB hits. I think they fill this guy in for Anthony Bradford to be on the other side of Gray Zabel. He's got the same build as Gray Zabel, really big guard. If they get this guy for Sam Darnold, he could be sitting in that pocket pretty nicely this next year. Throwing the ball to JSN, Jake Bobo, AJ Barner, all these guys for them. But this is a good pick for them. Let's analyze this draft real quick. My first round mock draft, top 10 To the Raiders, I have Fernando Mendoza. To the Jets, I've got Arvell Reese. To the Cardinals, I've got Francis Mauigoa. To the Titans, I've got David Bailey. To the Giants, I've got Caleb Downs. To the Browns, I've got Mekhi Lemon. To the Commanders, I have Reuben Bain. To the Saints, I have Carnell Tate. To the Chiefs, I have Jeremiah Love. And to the Bengals, I've got Mansour Delane. 11 to 20, I've got Avion Terrell to the Dolphins. The Cowboys get Sonny Styles. The Rams get Jermon McCoy. The Ravens get Peter Woods. The Bucks get Cassius Howell. The Jets get Caleb Banks. The Lions get Spencer Fano. The Vikings get Keldrick Falk. The Panthers get CJ Allen. The Cowboys get TJ Parker. And for my 21 to 32, I've got the Steelers getting Jordan Tyson. The Chargers getting Olavega Ioane. The Eagles getting Caden Proctor. The Browns getting Caleb Lomu. The Bears getting Zion Young. The Bills getting Denzel Boston. The Niners getting Casey Concepcion. The Texans getting Monroe Freeling. The Rams getting Brandon Cease. The Broncos getting Kenyon Sadiq. The Patriots getting Caden McDonald. And the Seahawks getting Emmanuel Pregnon. College is definitely not my strong suit. The NFL definitely is. But if I were the GM of these teams, I would take these players. I think these are the positions that every team needs most at this time. Maybe my draft is poo. Maybe my draft is boof. I had a lot of fun doing this draft. I think they're fun to just go over, see the possibilities of what each team could use. I'm going to try and do trades in some, trades in others, switch it up, try and not make every single draft the same. But let me know what you guys think. I'm trying to do these more often, maybe once a week, one every other 2 weeks. Combine is starting next week, I believe. So we'll definitely have things to go over after that. And yeah, here's my first round mock draft. Here it is in all of its glory. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if it's bad. Let me know if it's good. What you would change. If you're a fan of the team, please give me insights. I would like to know and learn more about each and every team, what you guys think would best fit your team scheme and to best help your team going into this next season. Take it easy and catch you next time.